Gonna be very interesting. Matsumosa getting very big, by the way. It is fake science, I will grant you that. But that's going to be really good momentum for him. Big game here as well. It's going to be all about what... did anybody miss Golden Age? Kree. Wow, Damery actually missed Golden. I was going to say, those stats are ugly. Damery missing Golden's actually big. Complete free sim. Nobody really made a play on... He didn't really make a play on any wonders. I think this is going to be trouble for him. I don't think he can take this. He needs one more unit. He's just not getting enough hits. Let's take a look at what happened here. No surprises, I don't think. They knew that they were going to lose this, so Simone actually got canceled. They knew they'd lose this, so they took the opportunity to make sure that Javerman lost to. So that was the play there. But this is huge. It's not a ridiculous amount of money, but not getting canceled themselves was the biggie. And then Silver got canceled here. So when it comes to diplomacy, Rom's only got 1 point now, despite having built the Mahabali Temple. So yeah, I mean, things went as well as could be expected for Cuite there, not getting canceled. They probably would have liked to have had a Congress that was like shift enter, shift enterable as they say, and so then just bang, okay, fine, I'll just go ahead and take my 2 points on Diplo, but they had to unfortunately do it the other way and spend it to get the stats up the other side. Units coming. Grandmaster's Chapel in 3. Pembrush now on Sunbro with pretty good stats. Krista now is going to be a little bit vulnerable here. And it's going to be incumbent upon him not to roll over. It's really going to be important for him not to roll over here. Again, you can see, I talked about this earlier. You know, if he'd got these two cities set up first and then got quick back settles in, these cities would be in a much better position to defend. But now, again, pop 4, not bad. City's kind of going. But this is a pop 2 city spending 12 turns on walls. Looks like he's going to chop them. Hopefully he's got limes in. But you set this city up in a position to do nothing more than kind of be a front line. It's not really set up yet. You know, he's got the campus placed. Does that ever even get built? This was a very aggressive settle. I would have liked to have seen him come over here. And then potentially back here. It looks like he's... So Maori's essentially said, okay, I'm taking all this land behind you, America. You just go ahead and stay alive, and I'll come with whatever, right? We'll see what happens. Great people, merchants. This is in my way, so I can't see. But the merchants came through with the projects. We'll see who got what. And it's now on to the next era with the bank merchant. Yeah, no surprises across the board though, as far as that's concerned. Moondoggy, how you doing? Yeah, no barbs in Teamers multiplayer, no. The turn timer is it's like a dynamic competitive essentially, and so what we do is we sorry. What was that? CLT Panther? Panther, thank you for the follow. What happens is that it starts off at a base number and then it progresses upward based off of the number of cities and units that are in the game. And so it's kind of dynamic based off of how much is going on in the game. But there's the similar kind of one for casual, and then there's a competitive. The competitive is much, much faster. It takes a lot of getting used to. Yeah. Deluxe is massive. Deluxe is definitely getting big. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. He's going to have a 10th city. He's already out of monumentality and into fake science on the Sagubas. Yeah, having a big game. Having a big game. No doubt about it. Yes, there's goody hats, just no barbarians. There's no barbarians. Yeah, it's simply because the reason why they do it that way. By the way, he got this cotton or this tobacco settle in here. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got this city in here now, and he got this settled down here. I'm not sure why he didn't go to the iron here. I don't know why he settled non-fresh there. I don't really get that. Maybe this horse was in his way, and he was never going to get through. That's a possibility. Or maybe he wanted to put the campus there. But he wouldn't be able to because he's got to have iron by now. So he wouldn't be able to. Just settle that. I don't know. And no, both of them are 6 tiles away. We already did the math on that. They're both 6 tiles away from the Coliseum. Is on the iron. Yeah, we already did the math on where to settle in order to get the 6 tiles. He could have actually done an 8 city setup, but he actually went for just the 1 city here. He could have actually gone like a city on the coast and then a city here and did a 9 city setup. No, everything is reworked with different mods. Yeah, with BBG, I mean, not everything. There are some civs that are all the exact same or have very minor changes. But the pantheons have been adjusted. In many cases, the governor's promotions, some of those have been tweaked around to make them a little bit more balanced and usable across the board. Team pluses are coming in. And we're ready to go. Yeah, fishing boats are +1 production right out of the gate to make naval civs a little bit more competitive. Yeah, little tweaks here and there that kind of create some extra balance. Foreign ministry going down. This is going to fail, I think. Who's going top tree? Yeah, we can check out techs. So shipbuilding here is not really top tree so much. Construction strips. Nobody's really top tree at the moment. Everybody's bottom tree. I mean, there's shipbuilding here, but that might be strictly for. I mean, maybe he's just pivoting now. On 5 cities, it's kind of late to be worrying about being a super productive. I mean, he needs to get more cities out here. Biggest and best changes is, yeah, Governor reworks is good. From a single player perspective, there is actually a lot of logic to how the governors are set up. From that perspective, because they all have very unique like pathways, but in order to create balance so that they're all kind of have use in cities, no matter what your pathway is to victory, they've reworked them obviously a little bit to create a little bit more, I suppose you could say, logic. Foreign ministry, sorry, Grandmaster's Chapel coming in here in 1. Let's check out the yields. 199 faith a turn. Rom's 58 science is a little bit low in order to have a serious impact militarily anytime soon. Engineering in 1, but he will be boosted and potentially have some sort of timing to slide down in here. We'll see if he pivots to encampments at any point and tries to help out in that front. He is going to come down in here and get a settle in this area and kind of get a forward operating position in this way, which is good. This city is going to, I'm assuming, settle the dies next turn. Would make a lot of sense. Maybe throw down the +3 campus there. The Petroplay is coming in here now. He does have the horse that's giving him the craftsman boost. He's got a couple of these things up. 9 turns, this city's going to go pretty burr. Can't complain too much. I just don't think he can kill this city. Is he? Oh, he lost that. Oh, it cost him a unit, but he kept the city. Or took the city, and he's killed it. So he's taken down 3 cities. I don't understand. He took out 3 city-states and burned them all. Like, he could have even just kept this one up here. I mean, it wasn't great, but it had a couple of luxuries on it. You know? Like, he could have kept it. It would have been an opportunity for somebody to trade with. You know? I mean, he could have just mined all the tiles and chopped out St. Basil's Cathedral. Like, why not just keep it? I don't know. I don't know what his play was there, why he didn't keep any of them. Look at these guys, though. 1 health, 4 health, and 2 health. 7 health between them, and he lost a unit. Crossbows protecting, but he has not created any sort of... he's not created himself any sort of tempo with the Milan Raider push. And the grief could have been had. Now he's kind of got so many crossbows and a general in here. It would be hard to come down in here and make a play. He's got horses watching out as well. This is good control set up here just to make sure if he ever saw him coming, he could make a pivot. But yeah, like if he'd have created a timing, there's a lot of pillaging that could have happened down in here. Yeah, he could have had the second one. If Molly was in position, Molly could have just gone ahead and grabbed this one and then kept the first one. I don't know what happened here, if this was a weird contentious thing happening. I don't really know how that, like, because there was a levied Hungarian unit, so maybe he was worried about something. I don't know. No, because the levied unit would just disappear. I don't know why he didn't keep that city. Maybe he misclicked. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me, though. With that much faith, Khmer might ruin Hungary's game. Well, I mean, he's going to need a lot more science to ruin Hungary's game. Hungary's got 80 science. Well, I guess Khmer actually just got us up to 72. It was like 50-something a minute ago. You can see the aqueducts coming in here. That's Khmer gameplay. Looks like he might just... Is he going to settle here? I don't know. Obviously, there's some really good tiles here. Maybe he's going to settle the stone, or... Does he go all the way to the diamonds? Getting some iron up here. Really good quality sim happening, to be honest with you. I like the quick one. You settle the city and quickly grab that tile off of him. Walls are built in the front line here. What's his science up to now? 59's not bad. He is, of course, going to get boosted. Stirrups in 1. He's got heavy chariots in play, so he'll be able to get up to knights quickly. There's a cursor going here, a little pre-build action. More settlers turn 60. To settle what, I don't know. Maybe he's going to go right and settle a couple of these over here. A little bit on the late side for sure. Encampment training project. He's probably going to try and get a general for his UU down there in Russia. My guess is a non-fresh settle here on the volcano. Wait. Yeah, he can't actually. He's just going to go... Actually, maybe he's going to send this south. Maybe he's coming all the way down here, actually. Either one of these works. Yeah, he's just straight up building walls and getting ready. He's going to get an encampment project going as well. Going to need to pivot to universities if he wants to get to the industrialization units quickly. Ballistics is a long ways away if you don't have a couple universities in play. Going to come back and heal these up. Maybe get a promo in there. Come and see if you can't tickle a little bit with Milan's. Maybe. Yeah, this has been controlled by Khmer pretty much the whole game. By the way, gold 280 a turn. And that's so they're right around 320 a turn overall, and it's what 120 over here. So 200 gold a turn advantage for Cuite Imperiale is a pretty big deal. Also, commercial hubs and trade routes, international, are big here, and with the cancelization of Colombia, be curious to see if there's any trade routes heading down to Russia. Yeah, they haven't said like this could have been a really good play here. Honestly, is if Cree, or I guess it would be Cree. Yeah, if Cree had set something up on a settle on the coast, any city, and then any city here from Russia, they could have set up international trade routes going through the water to make some extra cash. And especially now that Gran Colombia is canceled, that could have really been valuable. By the way, they are up to 8 cities, going on 9. Cree getting some extra settlers out here. 1 on the move. 2 underway. Going to get wider. Of course, Damery probably not too happy with his life right now, having missed Golden. Never a fun time. Gran Colombia really, really hurting on the science front. I think at this point they are just in this game to try to make gold, I guess. You'd like to be making more than 50 right now, but I guess it's just commercials and harbors first in every city. Unfortunately, like if they had all their traders up on international trade routes, that would be a whole lot more money that they could have been making right now, and they're not. So, unfortunate. So he did actually end up settling right here. Did he do that the same turn, or did he? I don't know. He was waiting for it at the time. Nice holy site set up here into the aqueduct. I would imagine builder's going to come over and chop that out. Really nice tiles to get this city kick-started, and some good tiles to grow in down here. This is going to be because this city will get going real quick, I bet. And he actually went non-fresh over here. So he actually did end up getting the 8th city set up on the Colosseum, because he actually went here and then set up over there on this corner. So that 8th city Colosseum setup is in place. Interesting, you take a look at the map. You know, you've basically got this big section in the middle that they've just been able to sim up on really, really well in here in the middle. And then just around the outside, Russia kind of isolated here. Hungary, you know, I'd be curious to see if they got in trade routes going here, because it's a mountain in between these. But be interesting to see this here. And then, of course, over here. So kind of around the outskirts. I don't see any international trade routes happening here at all. Now, mind you, Russia probably only has one, right? Russia literally probably only has one trade route, and it's just doing an internal. But Hungary, I would imagine, has quite a few trade routes up. I'd hope anyway. Where's all the traders? 2. I'm counting 2. Oh, 3. Okay, 3. 4. Yeah, it's too bad they couldn't have figured out a way to get the internationals going. It's just tough because this mountain range is just completely in the way. They really need to get an engineer going, honestly. Yeah, Cossacks, I mentioned earlier, there's a cursor pre-build coming in here. There's actually a number of units actually coming online here. A little bit of a night push here. Get rid of some pre-builds would actually be really good. This is actually a smart play from America here, as long as he doesn't invest too much. But yeah, general night push. Maybe get us some pre-build kills. There is a catapult crossbow push on the right, but there is this catapult dies pretty quick. with the crossbows in play. I'd like to see more units there. There's a chop and perhaps an upgrade instantly. They're going to, of course, have the money flowing from Deluxe. Campus finally chopping out here, getting that going. Slow tempo, though. Backing out, the Cursors are on the way. He's going to need to defend here. Try not to lose too much there. Be curious when Hungary is going to try and get in the game. Like, looks like 105.93 is not bad stats. I don't see any sort of setup to be ready for an industrial push, so he's probably thinking tanks. If you are, you're going to need twice that science. So it's university o'clock across the board for him. Are we going to get campuses and libraries and stuff online up here to replace the fake science soon? So, yeah, campus is there. There's a campus placed here, I believe. Yeah, get this built. Campuses focus on libraries and universities. Builders to chop, whatever it takes. You got to get this done. Because in, well, I guess 13 turns at minimum. But you always want to, when you're going with fake science, Golden Age, you always want to make sure that you are putting yourself in a position where you can replace it when you lose it, going into the Renaissance. And so he'll want to do that. Okay, so yeah, he's mostly just you got one unit kill there, mostly just setting himself up in a position to be protected. This is a lot of units. Crossbow. I don't like the campus here. If anything, get this builder over here and chop another unit. You don't have time to be building a 13-turn campus in your front city. Now, if you to settle this city with your third settler or your second settler, all this stuff would be done, and this city would have pop 8 and a whole shitload of really good tiles worked, including a lot of these, and you could actually be defending here a bit better. Knight in 2 up here. Market. Some simming in the back is fine. But yeah, I'd like to see something different there. No Milan Raider push plans here as it sees. It's got getting walls up, defending. His science is at 57. Not a whole lot of focus on campuses at the moment. Damery's not having himself a very good game, to be honest with you. Missing Golden's hurting, obviously, but even then, universities coming online will help across the board. I wanted to take a look at the... Oh, by the way, heading towards... Newton. Hypatia actually went to Hungary. I wanted to see what happened. This extra trade route capacity went to Mansa Musa, by the way. He was able to squeeze that out there. But the other one that gives you the free trader actually went to Grand Colombia. So he actually was able to get governor and free trade route. That was a pretty big coup for him on the merchant front. Russia with a general. The healing scientist on Hungary. Engineer play just getting started here. Actually, somebody's actually went and grabbed Imhotep. Maybe that was a faith by Imhotep. I think Cuite Imperiale just has better chance of winning because of their GPT. GPT is huge. There's no doubt about it. Having big GPT is a big deal. The big key is going to be one of these two making a play to stop him from dying, because he's on the front lines with low stats. Russia and Hungary are simply out-simming him, and the pressure's coming. The pressure's coming here. He's getting surrounded here. Russia's not even waiting for their UU. They're just getting in here and getting busy with it. I'm not sure what the walls play is here. If anything, I'd be building a catapult. Is this a hill? No, so he can actually step to here and shoot with the catapult. Yeah, this is our first action, and like I said, it's just he's just gonna slowly get worn down here because um he's just being outsimmed, and you know obviously one of these two is gonna hope to be able to move to here and try and shut this down before it folds completely. On the other side, you know, escape settler. There's lots of opportunity for escape settler over here around the mountains. That would be fairly safe, so it's not too bad there either. Chopped out walls? What, oh, you mean here? Yeah, this, I was mentioning this earlier, this city's been just slowly grinding away at these walls forever. Yeah. This timing's just been a little bit off the whole way around. Yeah, and as well here, like he had like this campus, he spent a couple turns or whatever it was building this. This is absolutely not necessary. There's no reason why he shouldn't have been like heavy chariot into upgrade. This city probably dies here. Yeah. This city just dies now. It was just, I don't know why he even settled it. I wouldn't have bothered with any either of these two. His setup should have been first two settlers here, get these cities established, back settle 3 cities along these rivers here, and then back settle again into this land here. He could have had 10 cities in a big sim. And instead he just wasn't quite coordinated on how he set things up. You get when you play a civ like Big Teddy Bull Moose, you've got to be prepared for the fact that you've got no simming bonus, right? It's as simple as that. By the way, this little Okichita in here griefing. You've got to be prepared to know that you're not going to have simming bonuses. And without simming bonuses, that means you've really got to have your simming game on point, right? Get your cities out quick, get your districts placed quick, you know, really good timing on builders, chop, get your stats up early, use the right governors to your advantage. Yeah, that has to be the play. Can I show you how war is in this game? Well, this is the only war going on right now. There's a standoff here, people just protecting their land all along here and here. And then this is where the war is. This is the only war there is in the game right now. This city's going to die here now, I think. Well, crossbow, depending on moves. A couple crossbows and a knight. There's another cuirassier coming. There's a first move. There's a first move. The knight retreated. This guy has a promotion now. This guy's gonna hit and raise. Yeah, this guy's gonna grab his promo. I probably would have moved and promoted. Although no, this because there's a crossbow there as well. Maybe move here and promote. Not stand on the floodplain. Okay, that. Oh, actually, Damery didn't even get the pillage in. He was standing there. I assumed he was just gonna get the pillage in before he died, but Damery didn't get the pillage in either. Lots of campuses, as I talked about, coming online for our boy Matsumusa. He is gonna, you know, get those down, get the libraries up, get these cities moving. All the things that you need to do. Theater Square, stable. So here's a play here to start working towards a general and some pre-builds. I like to see it. I like to see it a lot. These cities down here that he's just getting going, just starting to get some tempo. Statistically speaking, 167 science, most, well, probably a third fake, so he's probably got more like 110 or something like that. Rom's got good science, but Trier's got a good sim going. 150 science, almost 100 culture. Universities have mostly been built, couple more coming online. There's going to be a play for... There will be a play for Newton here shortly. Petra, we talked about this city getting big shortly. Pop 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eventually, probably want this tile, obviously, in this city. But for now, it's fine. It probably needs... it could use a governor and a granary in order to make sure you're using all the tiles, to be honest with you. Campus in 2. Not bad, not bad. Thank you for the follow. I am Ares. Thank you very much. Just faith by them. Yeah, gold, I mean, as a team, they're doing okay. 120-ish overall. As a team, not great, but, you know, it's like 300 on the other side, so they do have some gold. Oh, by the way, Buffalo actually got taken. Buffalo actually got taken. Gonna need to continue to produce some units here. 1 turn on a knight there. I don't get this campus, like I said. Like, you're gonna settle late cities this late in the enemy's face. You can't expect to get any campus. It's just simply not gonna happen. Sassy! How you doing, Sassy? Thank you very much for the raid. Welcome in. Sassy raid. It's good to see you streaming. So good to see you streaming, Sassy. Hope you're doing well. Is that Sassy Sasquatch? No. No. Not Sassy Sasquatch. Was just checking out Humankind? Yeah, I should probably check that game out at some point too. I really should. Lots of campuses and universities are coming online over here. You're going to see the stats finally go up pretty nicely on Pompey. Domary is pushing 100. Running projects. Everybody's running projects here, trying to get ready for the play for our boy. A little bit dangerous here. I'm going to say Domary doesn't know it, but if he just made a play, he could actually come in here and grief, take a couple builders, take this warrior out, limit this settler's potential, potentially even take it. Just playing a little bit passive with all these crossbows. Like, if I was him, I would simply, like, bring my crossbows out to here a little bit. Like you know, just have a line across here on defensive tiles. And then have these horses take a peek. If these horses just took a peek, right? There's no reason for these horses not to be standing, like, here and, you know, maybe in here or something like this. Make him push you off the spot. Another crossbow here, have him move forward. I think he's probably worried that the Milan Raider push is coming at some point, but we haven't seen it yet. If he just got some gold, he's only got 3 of them pre-built. He's actually got some Heavy chariots going. Where's the tech tree at? Siege tactics in 5. Ballistics in 2 on Rom. Gunpowder. I don't think anybody went top tree. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Simon Bolivar is now at cartography. So he is kind of going top tree a little bit. I guess he's probably the one person on the map who can, because he's not really going to be in a position where he can actually do some sort of a tank push anytime easily. So maybe top tree into plains, get his science up is definitely the first step. Sassy, I'm doing pretty good, by the way. I'm doing pretty good, thanks. Can't complain at all. Just doing my thing. Putting in another application for partnership with Twitch later on this afternoon. We'll see how that goes. Hasn't gone well for me so far in that regard, but hopefully things will go better. Try and save this catapult. Units are kind of getting worn down here. Could actually see some kills coming in. He's getting a lot of units up. Of course, nice to be funded by Mansa Musa. Build heavy chariots, upgrade him into knights. How far is he going to be himself? His science is now 53. Gunpowder in 1. He is a good 12-14 turns from cuirassiers. That is awesome to hear. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think he's scared of the Khan cavalry flanking. Oh, I would imagine he's got to be worried about some sort of a flank here. But like I said, like with his stats, I haven't seen any sort of an industrial setup. He hasn't even pushed into encampments yet, so I don't really know what his timing is going to be. He is got the top science in the room, at least the real science anyway. So maybe he's going to try a tank timing. He's not. The problem is that there's double boosting going on here, where he's kind of boosting by himself. And so these two here are just kind of big enough that I think it's going to be a tough job for Sphinx. We'll have to see how this works out. Fat Stick, thank you very much for the follow. Welcoming. Appreciate it. $1,400 Faith got to be placed soon. Oh, in here. Yeah. My guess is he's got ballistics next turn. He'll probably Faith by... I mean, I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, he could be... Like, the problem is the gold's going here, right? So he's probably can't really afford to Faith by too low a unit. So maybe he's going to Faith by some cuirassiers and some bombards. I haven't seen an engineer play yet, which would be kind of late if he's doing an industrial push. The armory's coming in here. He might be just simming to tanks, to be honest with you. He did go pen brush, of course, so he doesn't have a whole lot to spend the faith on. It's not like he's faith buying units or anything like that. Or, sorry, faith buying like settlers and builders and anything like that. Here's the upgrades. We were waiting on the Cossacks. He was able to save most of those units. They do have some healing to do. Cossacks not actually doing all that hot against a knight, really. Now it's across a river with support bonuses. Walls are up. Catapult coming. This is a medieval general, so not going to help out there. Where's the general over here? Did he not have a general? Oh, wait. Oh, what's this general here? Okay, there's a Renaissance general there. But no, that doesn't help him because the Cossacks industrial. He's got an encampment training project going here. Universities coming online, trying to get his stats up. In Russia, 5 turns. Anybody looking at a golden? Looks like Rom wants to go triple golden here. He needs 8 points. Maybe he can get to nationalism. Yeah, he can get to nationalism. and make a core. Yeah. Yeah, no problem there. He can get some points online. He's actually making an Angkor Wat play in 4 turns. That should be his golden. He's got 5 turns to get that done. 105. Get to nationalism. Get a core. Yeah, I think he should be fine. He's got to be able to figure some stuff out. What's city-state control like? A lot of city-states have been killed so far, obviously. Pompey, Damery, and Trayur. Controlling the science city-states. That's actually insane. That Cuite Imperiale has allowed all 3 science city-states to be controlled by the other team. This is actually terrible gameplay. I'm just going to... I'm sorry, I don't mean to be... that's terrible gameplay. To allow the other... like, could you imagine if these guys had a science city-state or 2? If these guys just had 1 science city-state, like, this science... Consider they have 3 science city-states... On turn 72, this isn't good science at all, to be honest with you. They have 3 science city-states on their team, and this is their science, compared to this, and they have none. I mean, that's insane. Well, yeah, 2 of them are down here. So, okay, even if they did control these 2 because they came out and controlled them quick early, there's absolutely no reason why they shouldn't be controlling the other one. I mean... What do they do with their envoys? Well, they have to discover them because as soon as the other Civ has control of them, they're revealed. Like, what have they done with their envoys? Trayur's actually holding 2 signs. There are 2. No, like 3 of their players are holding no city-state at all. No, it's controlled individually per team. Here comes some knights. There's actually a core coming in here. So he's bringing some units down. He's going to be able to upgrade into cuirassiers and help hold the line. Lots of knights filling up the line here. Big gold influx from... and here you can actually see some coming here. So they're all bringing units forward to protect. Well, no. Taruga, the first person to meet Taruga or to hold Taruga was actually... Christinau actually was holding Taruga first. He had 8 in there. What did he do with his other envoys? He was actually the first one in there. Like, I don't understand where everybody else's envoys are. Like, Trayur's got, like... Yeah, they've just failed to do anything with envoys. Like, they just controlled their envoy. It has nothing to do with pocket anything. And he's Teddy. I mentioned that when he took him. I'm like, oh, sweet, they'll be able to control that. He's Teddy. Like, I don't know what's happening. A little bit of a push here to see what's going on. This settler did get down here for free. I mentioned earlier, like a little bit of probing action is always a good idea. He'll have to back out of here with the shift enter. Crossbows across the board. What's his tech like? He's going into... He's actually going Celestial Navigation at the moment. Be curious to see where he is on the tech tree. Square rigging, so straight to industrialization on the back line. Going planes, probably. I got his science up there to a substantial number. But again, these science numbers, and they control 3 science city-states. This is actually insane. That they're allowing this to happen. But, hey, something to work on, right? Cuirassiers on the way. You can see here, little pikeman action is actually going to help out. You plug that guy in there, control this river. Maybe move your knights out of the way, let the cuirassiers in. Got to be careful you don't get some counter action with some levies. Or, sorry, levies. Some... Whoa, what was that movement? Oh, he wants to kill. It's going to cost him a couple units, though. But it'll save the city for a bit, and he does have reinforcements coming. When you have Pocket CS, you get to do its quest, get to establish a money before enemy. Yeah, I'm Arcane. I'm just going to disagree with you. I understand that Pocket gives you an advantage. There's with all the other city states essentially dead, and you're not controlling anything. If they were controlling, if all 4 people were controlling city states, like other ones, like one's got a faith and one's got a gold and one's got a culture, and like, they all have a purpose for getting something else. Okay, fine. But what are you doing with your envoys to allow all 3 of them out? Like, it's just poor gameplay. Sorry. To allow all 3 science city-states, they've known about them for a long time. They've known about them for a long time. Rom's got 191 culture. Like, nobody on this team's got crazy culture that they should be that far behind. You can't put you can't put a Monty in though. You can't put a Monty in unless if the other team is controlling of it. Here comes some trebuchet action, and a little bit of Mandaluca. Yeah, you can't just put a. You can't just like if you can. The thing is, it takes 5 turns to establish. So even if you can tie them, or whatever, and then put a money in that's doubled, you need 5 turns to go by where they don't recognize that they've lost the city state, which is at this level. If you allow that to happen to you, then you're just criminal. Yeah, I mean, Mark Hay makes a good point. When it's in the pocket and it's done well, you can control it. But it's not like any of them have like a ton of envoys in it. Like how Taruga's being allowed to be held with 13. Trayer already lost 2 city states that he had seized and levied, and he's now controlling 2 others on his own. Like, that's just like monarchy. Keep the +2 card in at all times. Get to get your diplo quarters up in the buildings. Like, build foreign ministry. All the things that you can do to control city states. You can't just say I'm helpless. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up about city states. But their inability to get it done is costing them big time. Hunza is. Oh wow! Oh wait a minute. Do they not spawn? Yeah, they didn't spawn. They didn't even spawn. Yeah, we've had an issue with that lately. They thought they had fixed it, but apparently not. Map generation and city state spawning has not been ideal, and they got BBS. They got BBS. That's good stuff. I like that. That's exactly what happened to them, by the way. They got BBS. Yeah, they're getting out city state at 4-1. So this city got raised. We kind of saw that coming. And it's a good thing they are raising it, because they got to be worried about the counter push that's coming. Yeah, there's just all kinds of units just flooding down. The conversation was probably just like, listen, Krista, now you're in a tough spot. Just hang on for like 80 turns. Just like settle your cities, get your walls up, spam units. We'll boost the tech tree for you. Get there as fast as you can, and then we'll get there. We'll come with cuirassiers, turn 75, turn 80. We'll just stay alive, and we'll figure this out. And here they come. And he did his job. He hung on. I was a little bit critical of some of his choices on settling places and his delay to getting more settlers out. Just kind of the simming order. Maybe some things he could work on. Hopefully he doesn't take it too personally if he's watching this right now. Maybe he can just do a little bit better next time. It's always a good thing. Not sure why he's got this heavy chariot on the front line. I don't really think that this Cossack wants to put themselves in a position to kill it, though, because then they lose the getting hit back. Sorry, what was I looking at? I was just going to... Yeah, he's just trying to hold that line. Oh, here we go. So the Hussars are coming, but the Hussars are going to have to push into cuirassiers. It's just too late, right? It's just too late. You're bringing one Hussar. I mean, this is probably just to cover the choke more than anything. This is just don't die o'clock at this point. Just don't die o'clock. Hey, JR, how is Architect so irrel? I mean, I don't know. He did, he got a lot of cities up, but his sim just hasn't been on point. He did a really good job of getting some horses out and taking out all the city-states. He got 4 early horses out and took out 3 city-states to ruin Hungary's game. A little bit, anyway. But, yeah, I don't know. His timing on getting cities, he was on 3 cities. He was the last one to get above 3 cities. And then his 4th city was in the desert. It eventually became Petra City, which is good now, but it's slow tempo. Yeah, just slow tempo early, and so everything's more expensive. Districts are more expensive when you finally get the cities down, and everything just takes a while, right? So when you don't have a good early start, even on free sim, your stats are going to look like crap on turn 80. It's about the size of it, JR. Oh, yeah, let's take a look at that. So Crusade, Russia actually turned into Crusade. Very good question, because actually, no, okay, so they've done a good job here of holding Islam in here and not allowing it. They did get Catholicism possibly into the front on Crusade. That might have been part of what happened there. Yeah, he pushed America with pretty good ease, and that extra +7 was probably a big part of that. The counter push is coming in, though, and he's starting to run out of units on the Russian side. He will be able to faith by some, but... ooh, this is interesting. So it's going to be either +5 or -5 to a unit. On this side, there's no cultural city-state, so we'll just go like that, right? Yeah, we'll just go like that. And just vote for me there. So, recon, culture, and me. Who's got the advantage over here? They do have... Did they split up? Because they do have pagodas in here. Boom, boom. Yeah, Teddy should be getting so much more Diplo favor as well. They should have a huge advantage here, and they don't really. It's actually going to be close. Is it tied? Tied. 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 No, actually, there's actually one vote. Sphinx actually wins whatever they want here. Sphinx can actually win whatever they want. So they could go -5 heavy cav to limit the pushes. They could I don't think this is kind of out. I don't even think they worry about this. Maybe. We'll see what they do. If you spend on 4 ponies and push 3 city-states down on 3 bases, I'm bamboozled as to why you'd raise them. Well, you can only keep 1. I don't know. You can only keep one city state as is any civ. You can't keep them all. I don't know why you didn't keep one of them though. Don't taunt the elders. Quiet, kiddo. What are you guys talking about? Young other Big Bang Krongas, yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Like, I mean, in his position, like he could have gotten 8 cities out quick, got the commercial hubs down. He had really good campus setups. He could have went like commercials into campuses, into encampments, into tank push, right? Just JRing. Oh, JR getting griefed. Yeah. Golden. So they did make Golden as we suspected. Everybody else except for Monsamusa ended up in dark. Yeah. Like it's getting libraries up. No universities yet. Yeah. A lot of tiles that could still get improved. Not Peretti. Kind of a standoff over here. Of course, the action's taking place in here. Pike and shots on America is all he needed to shut this down in a hurry. And then essentially at this point, these are just waiting to be tanks and figure out where to push. Russia's getting their science up enough that they'll be able to do something in there, one would think. The Congress ended up being units of the chosen lose 5. Light cavalry lose. That is huge. They're going to be able to push into Russia real hard here now with light cavalry losing 5. 100% city states yield for science city state. That's actually good on the other side for Sphinx. And then chosen gains. So they've actually given 2 to Pompey over here. And what's he sitting at now? He's at 6. So not really all that special either, to be honest with you. Yeah, exactly. Really devastating for the light cav push potential that could have come in. And it makes them vulnerable for the next 20 turns to the push until tanks. Their defense is now weakened. Let's check out the yields, by the way. 262 gold. That's pretty good considering all the units that are on the field. It is going to take a while. Of course, last Congress canceled the trade routes of our friend Pompey over here on Gran Colombia. And that means that he's currently doing internals. So until the trade routes finish, he won't be able to actually send them internationally. And the same thing over here. All these trade routes that Kree had, they had to switch to internal. And so until they finish, they can't send them international. So they're kind of stuck on doing the internals until the trade routes run out. So that's the other thing about being canceled is not only do you lose the 20 turns or whatever it is for Congress, you not only do lose that, but you lose the flip side as well, which is you might lose 5 or 10 more turns waiting for them to finish so you can start them back up again. Look at the top Colombian city. Oh, yeah. So Statue of Liberty play. He's sitting at, what did we say, 6? So that could be 10. Mohammedi's already been built. I don't see a play on Potato Palace at the moment. But that could be another point. Might be worthwhile grabbing. There's no play over here for anything. This is a lot of, so you can see here the full mobilization setup coming in here for Rom. He's gone the full pivot. He's got the stats you need to get to he's going to get to, what do you call it, armies. He'll do tank army push. These guys can boost one another because he's ahead. Like these guys can boost the top and bottom on the way to tanks. And he's got the stats. He's going to have encampments going down. He's going to get pre-builds going, military academy there and there. Once he gets this one up, he can start to faith buy some some Cuirassier armies. Potentially, what's his yield? 417 a turn. He'll be able to buy like 1 a turn. Well, yeah, he's got a lot of units. Like, he's got Cuirassier cores down here. He's got a lot of units on this front as well. Obviously, he's Khmer, so he's not building commercial hubs mostly, right? He went holy sites into campuses and theater squares into encampments. So my guess is he has 1 or 2 trade routes at the most. So you're not going to make gold as Khmer. And yeah, that's exactly right too. Like Mansa Musa, you make me 300 gold a turn, we'll each take 50 or 80 a turn off of you, and the rest is history. To be honest with you, this is actually, he had a really bad setup as far as his bond is concerned, but this is not much gold at all per turn at this point in the game. Like, you'd like to see him more like 500, but not too bad. He is not. If he'd have made reform the coinage, that would have been the really big thing, right? Like, this 312 would be more like 450 if he had reformed the coinage hit, which it did not. I mean, he can go hoist at campus hubs, so Molly makes way more gold. Yeah, you could, but then you're not going theater squares means you're not going to have the high tempo to push to fascism and help boost the trees for the team. So he obviously, theater square setup worked really well for him in his main cities in the core. And then really on your peripheral cities, if you do that, then you never get encampments built, right? A lot of your peripheral cities aren't going to get to pop 10 in time to get encampments built. And you want to be able to get encampments in your highest production cities and just be able to spam units. I'm not saying like I'm not saying I don't like the idea of getting commercial hubs up, but it's hard to fit them into the build order for the most part. I would have liked to have seen maybe a couple more, like maybe get in your best cities, maybe get a couple 3 commercial hubs up. Those extra trade routes obviously not only give you some extra gold, but once you have your alliance online, you can get an extra 3 science a turn from each of those. So another 10 science never hurt anybody or something like that. And then of course you put Whistlebonkin in eventually, and those trade routes can be boosting your cities and his cities by some. So yeah, it's just Khmer things, right? I would have liked to seen a couple trade routes a couple extra commercial hubs, but at the end of the day, it's hard to fit it into the build order on religious. You've got to go science, you got to go some theaters, and then eventually you got to pivot to encampments, right? So, I mean, maybe like, if anything, maybe I would say, okay, you don't need to worry about encampments in this cities because they're not that productive in high pop anyway. So maybe just go ahead and build, even like harbors, right? Just do harbors. So you have veteran seeing anyway. You can build fast harbors and lighthouses. Probably in these 2 cities, I would have suggested that. I'm not sure what he's done in this city for a 4th district. Maybe there should be a commercial hub in here somewhere. Maybe this is it. That's an encampment here. Encampment. Like, they should have another district in this city. Yeah, pop off a commercial hub. Thing is, too, at this point, is you could build a couple commercial hubs and a couple harbors for 40% off, right? Because of all these districts you have built already, and you have no commercial hubs and no encampments. So the way the math works on the discount for districts, he would easily be able to get a couple on discount of each and get those trade routes up. So I definitely think you make a good point. At some point, it would have been a nice idea to see that. Even in this city here, this city's, what's the production on this city? 22. I mean, it's not bad, but commercial up here wouldn't have hurt either, like you say. I don't even see a campus in this city at this point. But yeah, I don't know. So it's 2 science for you in a single trade route and 2 science for the trade ally, while campus is 2 to 3 science from adjacency, double the card, then 2 from library, then university somewhere. Yeah, absolutely. Like you can't negate, you can't say, okay, I'm not going to build campuses because I'd rather have commercial hubs. Because you're right. The real science comes from libraries and universities, right? If you're controlling one science city state, that's like, even with a bad adjacency science district, like with a bad adjacency campus, you're looking at like a dozen science from one campus by just getting it built, even if it's got like +1 adjacency or something like that. Double card in, 3 from a library, 5 or 6 from a university, depending on how many you're controlling. Like, it's absolutely, the science is way too valuable. The timing, you can't allow yourself to have low science by building just nothing but commercials instead. That's not the answer, but the peripheral cities, these encampments are necessary. Campus into commercial hub in some of these peripherals instead of whatever else, like that could have been the play also in a couple of them. Yeah, exactly, Bartseg. Like up here, there's no reason for this. These could have easily been a couple harbors with veterancy in, right? Go bang veterancy, and then you're getting it up so quick, because the harbors at this point would have the discount 40% off. Then you get the veterancy card in, which is 30% production towards. I mean, you'd be like 3 turning harbors out of these cities, and then get the lighthouses up. You'd have trade routes in no time. Yeah, usually encampments are like your pop 10 district in your core cities, right? No doubt about it. So if you have gone holy site into campus, into theater square in a city, or even in some cases like an entertainment complex or whatever the case might be, at pop 10 you really want to get your encampments up if you're going to do some sort of a industrial or modern push. You've got to get them going. You can't wait to pop 13. It's just too late. So military academies across the board here. At 108 science, it's going to be quite a while for him to get to tanks. It's really just unfortunate he's not getting his universities built. Like, I mean, he needs science. He's going to be so, like, look at this. Like, it's got to be universities right now before you build your encampments and all these buildings. It just has to be. 203 science on Dommery now, who, by the way, missed second golden and ended up going dark third. But yeah, you can just see the big science here because they control all those city states. Actually, Archetype has made a move. Archetype has made a move to control this. There you go, Archetype. There you got something done, buddy. So they actually are getting a little bit of a boost here now by controlling a science city state. The big question is, on Mitla, is anybody else pulling it in? So Romrob's got 3 in there. That's helping him. But that's essentially it. Like, Deluxe and Krista now are not getting any science out of these. Like, if they just had 3 envoys to put in here, although, for that matter, I guess Archetype hasn't built universities yet, so just 1 would do the trick for the libraries, at least. But could you imagine if he built universities and had 3 envoys in that city state? I mean, his science would be almost double what it is now. He'd be at 180, probably. Dark Third, no, I will grant you, Bart, say Dark Third is good into a heroic 4th, absolutely. Renaissance is not that great. Renaissance Golden's not that great, other than, I guess, for trade routes. Once he gets these trade routes back up, that could have been some extra gold there with Reform. So staying dark is nothing wrong with it. But when you've missed your second and then miss third is also. Yeah, so internals, they've gotten their gold's getting up a little bit, so my guess is some of them have come online to start going international. I'm not seeing a lot in between. Oh, here you go. Yeah, there's a couple up here that have gotten going. Maybe this one. These two here might be getting underway. This one might be on its way over here. Certainly they need to get them going international all the way across the board. Dark Age card for internals. It's possible. I can't check now. Once I get to turn 80, I never want to look at individual setup. Yeah, statue is underway. Yeah, right. So what is that? Statue in 4. There's nobody contending it, so he's going to get it. That'll put him to what, 10 points, I think we said? Yeah, they'll give him 10. If he makes a play for Potato, he can get to 11. There is the play on Potato. He does have Magnus in there. He can go with a couple chops. He may not bother. It's only the 1 point. And it looks like it's not going to be a big deal anyway. Nobody's contesting it. Encampment training, they're going to make a play on generals. Oh, by the way, who got... So, oh, there you go. Damery got Isaac Newton. I was wondering, his science took a nice little spike there. He got his universities built, then grabbed Newton, and it was GG's. That's the advantage of having a lot of people popping off on science, is they were able to go... Sunbro grabbed Galileo, and then they just quickly set up Hungary into Cree, bang bang, and the best that they could do was the amenity guy. That's all they could pick up in this entire era. That's actually a big deal, because these three are actually really good scientists, all of them, at this point. You know, in fact, some, depending on how many cities you have, mathematically, Galileo is actually better than Newton in a lot of cases. If you have a really good mountain setup, you can get like a +4, or a +5. It's actually depending on how many universities you have built and when you've got them built and stuff. Anyway, we are on industrial modern generals, and 2 are out. Russia and actually Archetype have a modern general each, and there's one more. Is there 2 industrial modern left? Right, there's 4 total, if I'm not mistaken. So they're gonna run a project here to try and get one of them. Where is he going top tree? Yeah, no, he's going bottom tree as well. He stayed bottom tree to boost the tree with them. So nobody's going plains there. Plains would have been a good idea, but by boosting the tree for each other, it's getting them there faster. So I don't hate that idea. That being said, he hasn't done a lot of encampment pivot yet. So he's... I guess he's got this here. Yeah, he hasn't done a lot of pivot to encampment. Yes, I guess with faith generation, he doesn't need to do a lot of them early on. You can just faith buy out of the one city. He's only got 177 faith a turn. Almost 400 on Archetype. Sorry, on Rom. Yeah, top tree would have been a good idea as well, but like I said, as the one key to this that I will say is I don't mind at all that they both went bottom tree if they hit the timing. If in 4 or 5 turns, refining here and for refining combustion here, yeah. So see, these guys are actually both going refining. So they're boosting these for each other, right? And then they'll pivot into combustion. So if in like 4 or 5 turns they're ready to upgrade into tanks and make the push right away, I don't mind it, because what happened was Rom was going the top of the bottom tree and Deluxe was going the bottom of the bottom tree, and so that they could just bounce off of one another and give each other the boosts all the way through. And if they hit the timing with like turn 87, turn 88, turn 89 tanks, I don't mind it, because the other guys are going to be like 4 or 5 turns behind at least, because just because you've managed it so well, right? Like you might actually, depending on this works, if he'd have gone top tree, then Rom would have had to boost the bottom trio by himself, and it might have cost him another 4, 5, 6, 7 turns to get all the way through that bottom by himself, and that can be a big difference. So, yeah, Pompey's is going plains, absolutely. Pompey's, we saw Pompey for a while now has gone industrialization. He's actually getting coal power plants online here now. Being as far away as he was, it was definitely made a lot of sense for bottom tree Damery into plains on the top tree. We'll see how long it takes him to get there, because his science has kind of been bad most of the game. He cranked it up to 200 now, which is speeding him up, but he was behind by quite a bit with a little slow tempo early. So he will be able to get planes going. It's a long ways for him to go even this way. What he could potentially do is grab a settler. What he could actually do is grab a settler and start walking. He'd have to have done it already, maybe. But if you could ever get a settler going and just settle it down over here somewhere, and as a forward operating, you could also bring an engineer up here and just make a landing strip. But yeah, you gotta have the timing right. It's all about timing, guys. It doesn't matter how fast you get to the techs and all that kind of stuff. You can see here, getting ready for the push. He's actually thinking about coming in this way. He's got the engineer doing work. He's got the cuirassier. He's got actually an artillery going online now. Multiple artillery, including an artillery armies. So he's ready for the artillery. He's protecting the front line here, and he's got more artillery coming there. Would like to see a few maybe he's just going to buy some cuirassiers with faith shortly. Maybe the next plan is to buy some cuirassiers with faith. I guess he's buying bombards because then he gets steel while he's doing refining. He's actually on a combustion now, so he's got 5 turns or less, maybe 4 turns or whatever, to buy some cuirassier cores and just kind of have, because if you bring like 4 tanks and 6 or 8 artillery, that'll actually do the job if the other guy doesn't have tanks yet. And the big question will be gold. Not making a ton of gold yet. They're doing okay. But combustion in 3, they will have tanks, but how many can he upgrade? He's already, and they have a fair amount of money here, but they're gonna have to budget who gets upgrades. He's already minus 15 there. Minus 92, yeah. Well, it just changed. He just got a deal. He just got a deal for 100 gold a turn. Well, I mean, he's got no commercial hubs, so you're not even getting like the +2s and +3s from commercial hubs. He's got 1 trade route. So, I mean, how are you making money? Like, universities and all of your, like, it costs money to have all those buildings in all those districts, right? Your theater squares, your holy sites, all those have maintenance costs. And so if you're not making any money and you're paying a bunch of maintenance, it gets pretty ugly pretty quick. But yeah, he's getting ready here. There's going to be a tank push. 1, 2. He's not all that ready here, to be honest with you. Still building a university in this city. Building Alhambra. The artillery, but he doesn't have a lot to even bother upgrading. A builder. Like, I don't know what he's going to do here. He's going to get pushed pretty hard. He's Cuite Imperiale's version of Jack. Holy Slate Campus Industrial Zone encampment every city. How you doing, PB? Yeah, well, he went Holy Site Campus, and then some theater squares. Actually, no industrial zones. I don't know if he made a single industrial zone. He was some theaters into encampments. Um, yeah, we talked about it quite extensively already. Obviously, I don't hate anything he did as far as build orders here. Um, I like that he got some theaters online to boost the culture tree for the team. I think all of this made sense here in his core cities. He obviously went in with the entertainment complex for Coliseum. I don't, like I said, don't have a problem with anything other than encampments in these cities made no sense to me. I would have much rather seen harbors with veterancy card on. Would have got the 40% discount, like I said. Veterancy card, 30% production card. A couple trade routes there could have been really valuable. You could have had those up right now. And then even in this city, getting a commercial hub out with this high pop, there's no reason why a commercial hub shouldn't have been built here already. Not a lot, but like 3-4 commercial, like, and then you get the trade route going. That's an extra 30 gold or so from the trade route and the district adjacency. I mean, you're still going to be negative, but you know, you're also going to get science and gold and food and production out of those trade routes as well. Here comes the artillery armies. Yeah, work ethic allowed him to essentially. Yeah, work ethic meant industrial zones not quite so required. If you don't have plans on building tier 3 buildings, then you don't even really need power. So yeah, he's got good timing here. Turn 87, combustion in 3. Yeah, combustion in 3. So turn 90 is pretty good timing. You know, sometimes you'll see it. You know, I've hit like turn 85, turn 86 on perfect games. You know, turn 88's probably kind of around average if you get a really good timing. That you'll tend to see. Turn 90 is pretty good, especially when you're going holy sites first in all your cities. That's also a thing. So military engineers on the move here. Interesting play given his science. 117 science, and his neighbor's got 222. Does he seriously think? Although Domri's actually going top tree a little bit here now. I'm super curious how far he went on the bottom. He obviously went partially the way there, but rifling. He's probably at least 15 turns from from a modern push. A lot of units on this front line. Given the state of your team's financial situation, I'm not sure if I like the heavy chariot build here, to be entirely honest with you. Wow. The old heroic age push here. Little Machu Picchu and a little Great Library action. Potato Palace in 6. Statue of Liberty did get done, as we saw. 9 turns. Who's going to make that heroic? Who is going to make that heroic? Yeah, absolutely. Those are making heroic pushes right there. That's what that is. Yeah, I mean, eventually they'll have reformed the coinage, but I mean, at that point, you need tanks. They're never going to have the money to go heavy chariots into tanks. I mean, for that matter, they're going to be desperate for money over here to live, and some desperate for money over here to live with these 2 pushes coming. There's no way that they can finance a push over here turning chariots into tanks. There's no way they'll have that kind of money. Yeah, Colombia's gone to full externals for sure. JR, I know I had the same kind of thought, JR. I had the same kind of thought. Excessive! Let's go.
Hello, I am new here. Who is this man with the beard talking?
Excessive. I know. Who is this man? 43 months, buddy. Thank you so much. It's Santa. Santa is here to bring all the toys and goodies. Santa, but nicer and funnier. Nicer and funnier than Santa? Damn, that's high props right there. They feel super greedy for Hungary to just to not just go straight externals with Russia. Well, the problem is with them is they've got some externals going here now, or they did, but then they lost it. The problem is there was a mountain range that went from here in land they did not control all the way south, all the way down to here. So there wasn't really, until you had an engineer to make a tunnel, which I guess they could have done a while ago. It probably wouldn't have been a bad idea to get an engineer out much earlier and make a tunnel here and start doing trade routes like this. They have been making trade routes with Taruga to make some gold, as you can see, but they did get a little screwed on that mountain. I like you to download your Civ knowledge to me like the Matrix. Imagine. Okay, here comes the big push. He's not even waiting for the tanks. He's got combustion in 2. He's just gonna go artillery burr all over him. The tank upgrades have come in here, but he doesn't have a whole lot extra. The lack of preparation and gold has got him creating tanks from scratch over here. This was an unfortunate run here for this tornado. Actually pretty huge. Look at this. This thing wreaked havoc on him. What the actual fudge? Wow. That'll slow your push down in a hurry. Making a road. I would be surprised if he makes a tunnel here just to make this a little bit faster. Pop units through here quicker. Rom has been disconnected. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, I guess we gotta reload the turn. Yeah, because tornado. These guys aren't doing too bad at $1.83. They're losing on this end, obviously. This is including at least 100 gold per turn here, maybe some over here even. Terracotta done, and we already saw Statue of Liberty done. Potato Palace in 3. 7 turns. These wonders should get the heroic online for Domri. Pompey's already there. Sunbro's got a little work to do. A lot of work to do for Trier to get to his. And on the other side, things are looking pretty grim. Really nobody making any sort of major play towards that golden. This push has been... Okay, so he got... Did he lose one? Did he triple team a tank and lose one? Yeah, like, I mean, given, like, I don't really like this, and I'll tell you why. Given the fact that Trier's had top science in the room most of the game, there's no reason to think he was going to have a timing push here. So showing up on the doorstep with only artillery, knowing the other guy was going to be able to grab tanks, was a bit of a blunder, to say the least. He really does need to he should have come with, like, he didn't need a lot, but just like a row of like 3 or 4 tanks with 8 artillery in behind, that's fine, right? You could just kind of, you set up, swap them in and out a little bit. He's put himself in a very vulnerable position here. This can become a tank army, obviously. But I don't really like the overall play he's made here. Go Niners. Hey, Kevy. Go Niners indeed, baby. Yeah, that might have been it. Like, he might have been hoping he gets there before tanks. You know, if he'd had a couple more turns before tanks, then maybe. But, I mean, I don't know why he could have thought, given the science that Hungary's had all game, that he thought he would have gotten away with that. I just feel like that was... Upgrades here, he can actually get if he ever got 3 tanks going here and hit him on both on this side as well. You know, he could come through and do some grief anyway, kill some units, do some pillaging. Steel walls will be a hindrance until the time where he may in fact get a couple of arms. Although he's actually on golden already, so he's not going to get golden, I don't think. When you consider he's not going to get any boosts. Yeah, he's going Dark Age for sure. I see no effort here at all being made to go from Dark into Heroic. Whereas on the other side, all that effort is being made. Domri is going to get there next turn. He'll have it easily. Pompey, he's building museums everywhere. This will be 3 points, but he's going to need a lot more than that. He's going to need a lot more than that. So we'll see. Russia's getting a lot of encampments up. There's no like culture game going here, right? No. There's no serious tourism on Russia, I don't think. No, not at all. Mad JD, thank you for the follow. Welcome aboard. Excessive thanks again, buddy, by the way, for 43 months. That's insane. 43 big ones. 43 big ones. Pretty nutty. Pretty nutty. Quadruple Dark isn't going to be good for a cold situation. No, it isn't. If nobody makes... he's actually building banks here now. That'll help, I suppose. But, I'm not sure why you don't faith buy the... I mean, he doesn't have a ton of faith, but he could be faith buying those and then running projects. I don't know. It's kind of weird. 121 pop. Is that what he has? He's got a couple big cities here. You doing math over there? By the way, when buy and mine. It's time to feed the doggo. I heard it's so funny. She's got such good timing. 3:57 when her food time is 4 o'clock. You hear the bowl being flipped in the kitchen. Oh, is it in Era? Oh, really? Oh, there you go. Yeah, I never noticed that before. I never even looked at those. Yeah, it's the number of cities and the number of people. Huh. 121 on Domri. Look at that. Look at that. So tanks, some artillery. This is basically a wash. No, the game's not going to get decided here. Like, we could be looking at nukes, folks. Because the game doesn't feel like it's going to get decided here. Maybe they can get... Maybe they, like, double team push into Russia. Russia... Whoa, really? Maybe Russia dies. I don't know if Russia can defend here.